This is your no bullshit guide to a happier life. Quick, but not necessarily easy tips to help you to squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of your business and your life. My name is Helen Calvert. I'm a coach, a business owner and a parent, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I do swear occasionally, as the title suggests, so pop in your headphones if I'm not safe for little ears. Ready to go? Let's do this. This episode is sponsored by Sam Brown of Made Simple by Sam. If you want copy that sounds like you, engages your ideal clients and gets you more business, Sam is ready and waiting for you. Are you ready for copy that does you justice? Is it time to let your words, whether they're on your website or printed marketing materials, in your newsletter or blogs, help you make meaningful connections with your ideal clients? Do you want to bring in more work and boost your bottom line? Let's face it, no matter how incredible your services are, if you can't show people how they'll feel because of working with you, they're unlikely to spend their hard-earned cash with you. They want to be able to get a real sense of who you are, and you can't be on discovery calls every minute of the day, so places like your website have to do some of the heavy lifting for you. Sam is here to get your copy sounding exactly like you on your best, absolutely smashing it day. Sam is a passionate, down-to-earth copywriter who believes in collaboration over competition above all else. She wants to support you and do her bit to help raise you up by creating the bridge between your business and your ideal clients. She'll take the tangled thoughts in your head and turn them into words that attract, connect with, and convert your key audience. Customer-focused copy made simple. To find out more, visit madesimplebysam.com or access Sam's links in the show notes for this podcast episode. Hello and welcome to this episode where we look at how to manage the list. Because this season it's all about getting shit done. So we have created our monster list, if you've listened to the last episode. How do we manage this? How do we work with this? Going forward, to use that little business jargon phrase, going forward, how do we manage the list? So the thing to do is to keep making the list bigger. And by that, I mean write everything down. I cannot stress this enough. Write everything down. If something new comes up, wherever it comes from, write it down. So that feeling of, oh, I'll just do this quick thing so I don't forget it. No, because that is pulling you in all different directions. You were doing something and then the text message came in, the email popped up, you got distracted somehow by someone asking for something else. Write it down. Don't do it, just write it down and then back to where you were. This is where having this big main list is key. So again, last time we talked about how this isn't our to-do list for today. This is our big main list of everything, the mammoth list of everything, the super list, wherever you keep it. Notebook, spreadsheet, project management app, wherever you keep it. Write things down. So the great thing about all of these online options, I know a lot of people love a notebook. I love a notebook. But the great thing about the online options is they can be on your phone, which means no matter where you are, you can write the thing down. So it never has to get missed. So if you use Asana or Trello, or I think that there's so many other ones available, ClickUp or Monday, or there's loads of these project management apps. They're all available on your phone. So you can just bob into the app and write down whatever it is you want to remember. Another way to do it, if you are on the run, if you're out and about and you don't want to forget something, and maybe you are a notebook user, you want to write it in your notebook later, email yourself. I email myself all the time and it will just say random stuff like, remind so-and-so to do XYZ, and it's just an email that pops up and it's there. I'm not going to forget it. And then I can just let it go because I know I've written it down. So your phone is your friend in this instance, because no matter where you are, you can write down what you need to remember. And it might not have come from somewhere else. It might be something that's popped into your head. Oh God, yeah, I mustn't forget that. Oh my goodness. Pop it into the phone, into your project management app, email yourself, somewhere that you're going to look again. Because it doesn't matter if you write it down if it's somewhere you're never going to look. So it needs to be kind of where you keep all your stuff. Write it down. Once it's on that big list, it will get done. Now, when I say write down everything, I can't stress this enough. Everything. I don't try to remember anything. I'm not even joking. It takes up too much headspace, and I need my headspace for other things. I need my headspace for doing things. So recurring tasks are my friend. I have an online calendar, and I will have recurring tasks in there. I'll share some of my real ones with you, right? Every weekday in term time, when I have my children with me, I have a recurring task that reminds me to put a snack into the youngest's school bag, because otherwise I'll forget. I have recurring tasks every week, every fortnight to get cash out for my cleaner. I have a recurring task every week to write my email newsletter. I don't attempt to remember anything because it just takes up too much headspace. There's far too much going on in the world to try to remember anything. And I'm just so much happier if I know it's written down somewhere. Just never assume you're going to remember something, because our brains get pulled in so many different directions. Much better to write it down. Now, we get information from so many different places. We get messages, don't we? WhatsApps, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Copy and paste is your friend here. Copy it and paste it into your main list, into your app, into the email that you send to yourself. You want everything to be in one place so that you can find it again. Now, a little admission here, I don't actually have everything in one place. I have everything in two places. I use Asana as my project management system, and I also have an online calendar. So everything is in one of those two places. Now that works for me because I'm quite happy to look at both of those places every day to put together my list for the day. So be realistic. What is going to work for you? How many places are you genuinely willing to check to put your list together? I would say, generally speaking, just having everything in one place is a really good idea. So this is our mindset block alert for this episode. There is no right app. There is no correct system. There is no right way to do this stuff. So I've just said I use Asana. I love Asana. Other people love Trello. Other people love a planner. Other people like to chop and change. It's great to change it up. Whatever system we use, it's not going to work forever. It's great to change it up. The only thing that matters is what works for you. Your system is there to help you. It is not the boss of you. So if you're finding that it's not working, change it. It doesn't matter if everybody else said, oh my God, this is the best system ever. Clearly it works for them. If it doesn't work for you, change it. If you're bored of it, change it. If someone says this is the best thing ever, but you hate it, that's fine. That's why there are multiple apps, because there is not one that is the perfect thing for everybody. Now, the only thing you do have to do, whatever system you choose, wherever you choose to keep your big list, however you do it, there's one thing that you do have to do, and that is check it every day. Because it doesn't matter how amazing someone says a particular app is, none of these systems are any good if we don't look at them. They cannot do anything helpful for us if we don't look at them. So check it every day. And that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about putting together the daily list. Check it every day. But if you do that, it doesn't matter what system you use. Write everything down, check it every day, pull out what needs to be done. People see my online calendar every now and again. Someone will catch sight of my online calendar and it's got, different colours for different things. And people say, oh my God, that looks crazy. That's so busy. That looks crazy. Because I have my appointments in there and I also have a lot of reminders for different things. The thing is, I'd rather my calendar looked crazy than my brain being crazy. The reason my calendar looks crazy is because I'm holding nothing in my brain. I would much rather that, because otherwise my brain would be crazy, and that is not helpful. Keep your head empty so you can use your headspace for doing rather than remembering. And the great thing is, once you've put something on a list, you can forget about it. So again, it reduces that overwhelm. Once it's written down, you can forget about it because you'll find it when you need it. You know, if I think of an idea for later in the year, if I think to myself, in the summer, I want to do this, or, I've just thought of a brilliant idea for my son's birthday, which is like months from now. I stick it in the calendar for whenever is appropriate. I pop it into Asana with like a deadline so it pops up whenever the right time is, and then I forget about it. I'll see it when I need to. I don't have to keep it in my head. So it's just keeping that head as empty as possible, because that really does help with the overwhelm. Now, there's a little tip here as well. There's a website that I absolutely love. It's futureme.org. So just futureme.org. And it gives you the ability to send yourself in the future an email. Now, strictly speaking, you could do this anyway because you could schedule an email to send in the future, but it would be sat there in your drafts. It would kind of be annoying. But with this, you can send it, completely forget about it. And then whenever you've set it to arrive, you'll get an email from your past self reminding you of something. I think this is brilliant. And I've mentioned this to a couple of clients who say things like, oh God, I hope that I remember next December that I need to take a break and that I won't get as much done as I think I will. Or I hope I remember next year that, when it's my birthday, I actually need to take some time off. Or, when you have those thoughts of, I really hope I remember this next time around. Go to futureme.org and email yourself so that next, whenever it is, into your inbox comes, hey, future me, this is past me here. Remember that we wanted to remember this? Again, it gets it out of your head, but it means that you won't forget it. So yeah, I absolutely love that website. Brilliant little tip there. So write it all down. Have I said that enough? Write it all down. This is not about how competent we are. If we have to write things down that we feel like we should be able to remember, again, it's that awful word, isn't it? Should. There's nothing that we should be able to remember. It's much better if we write it down, because then it'll actually happen. There's no medals given out for how much we can hold in our heads, but there's definitely a downside to having too much in our heads and getting overwhelmed. I've got friends from childhood who still get birthday cards from my mum, and they always say to me, oh, she's so amazing. She remembers my birthday every year. And I'm like, yeah, she's got a birthday book. She literally turns the page every week, sees whose birthdays are there and buys them cards, because she loves it. I mean, my mum loves just keeping in touch with people that way, but she's not holding it in her head. She'd be some kind of superwoman if she randomly remembered everybody's birthdays. She's got it written down. So anyone who thinks that I am super organised, and I do get a few people sort of imagining that I am, maybe, but it's all written down. None of it is remembered. None of it is miraculously, coming out of my brain. And in the same way, if people tell me that something important is happening for them and I want to remember, they're moving house, they're getting married, but, I'm not going to the wedding, but I want to remember to say congratulations, whatever it might be. If they tell me the date, I stick it into my calendar so that on the day I can send them that quick message. Hope it goes well. Have a lovely day. Good luck with the move. Again, I'm not superwoman for remembering that. How could I possibly remember that within the noise of everything else that goes on in my life? But I've written it down because I care. And then, up it pops and I can send the message. So, as I say, there really is no kind of honour in holding it all in your head. Just write it down. It's so much easier if it's all there on the big long list. So we talked last time about breaking things down into tasks, which helps us to create that list. And then, as I say, it's just keeping that list pretty big, really. We want that list to be big because realistically, we all have an absolute ton of stuff that we need to do. So if your list is only small, that's because you're holding most things in your head, and that's just not going to be helpful. And it's not reliable. And then, we forget things and we feel bad and we feel like we're hopeless and all that terrible self-talk starts again. Oh goodness, they remember everything and I forget everything. Well, they have probably got it written down and you're forgetting stuff because you're expecting your poor, overwhelmed brain to remember things when you're also in the middle of doing everything. So the key is when something comes in that is distracting you, if you get that message, someone says, can you just do this, etc., etc. No, you can't just do anything. You're not going to get pulled aside to just do a quick thing. I don't actually care how quick it is. If you spend your time doing the quick thing, then you're just never going to get done what you actually want to get done, what you decided you wanted to get done today. So no matter how quick it is, just write it down. Write it down, and then there'll be a time later or tomorrow where you can round up a load of those little quick things and just get them all done in one go. But you're not going to get pulled away and distracted right now. You're just going to add it to the list. Yep, pop it on the list. That's fine. Back to what I was trying to do. So, writing everything down is part of being excessively kind to ourselves, not expecting our poor brains to hold information. And if we do that, then we can save our headspace for squeezing every last drop of enjoyment out of our businesses and our lives. Speak to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Did you know that my first book is now available to purchase online? Check out the show notes for details of how to get your hands on a copy. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave me a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are up. If you would like to work with me one-to-one or follow more of my content, you can find out how in the show notes. See you next time.